Hello, ladies. I have a very special treat for you today. I have a special guest that is going to be sharing with us and on um, a very important topic. And this is my mom, and she is one of the sweetest ladies that you will ever meet. And she is very passionate about defending life. Not only does she vote pro-life, but my mom lives pro-life. My mom defends lives and fights for the lives of unborn babies. And she's been very active in the pro-life movement for the last, I don't know, 10 years or so. She can, she
Long
can,
time. I don't know. It's a long time.
so I'm very excited to have her share this. I know she'll share with you, but I know she's a little bit nervous, and this is out of her comfort zone. It actually took a little bit of convincing for me to get her to agree to this, but thank you, Mom, for doing this. And so I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Okay. So, some of you I know out there know me, and a lot of you don't know who I am. But yes, as she said, this is out of my comfort zone. And she said she's been talking to you ladies about this, um, being out of your comfort zone. But it's something that I am very passionate about. And I feel like if I have a chance to speak for the babies, then I want to do it. And I I'm doing it, for the babies, doing it for my daughter because she asked me to do this. But it did take some convincing. I had to think about it, and I don't like speaking in front of people. I get nervous, but I do it at our church about pro-life stuff. You'd think I'd be used to it by now, but I'm not. But it has gotten a little bit easier. But anyway, the main reason for this is to just two things: raise awareness and to encourage people to get more involved. And I would like you to get, if you can, get a paper and a pencil. Well, they're going to be viewing it later. I don't know. So you could, at the end, especially, you could take down some information that I want to give you that would be very helpful. Some resources, things that you can look up and read, and that will really make make you more aware of things. Um, so I have a bumper sticker that says "Smile, your mom chose life." And I'm not big on bumper stickers, but I really like this one. And I've had comments on it. And there's millions, never had a chance to say that. And all of you out there can say that, but there's so many that can't because their life has been snuffed out. So there's several things that I want to talk about. And first of all, I'm going to talk about this Sunday is Sanctity of Human Life Sunday. And in 1984, President Ronald Reagan issued a proclamation designating January 22nd as the first Sanctity of Human Life Sunday. Churches continue to recognize the third Sunday in January as the Sanctity of Human Life Sunday because this was around the date that the Supreme Court legalized abortion on demand in all 50 states in 1973. Churches around the United States use the day to celebrate God's gift of life, to commemorate the millions of lives lost to abortion, and commit themselves to protecting human life at every stage, from conception to the grave. More people die from abortion than any other cause of death worldwide every year. Between 63 and 64 million babies have died through abortion in the United States since 1973. That is just huge, unbelievable amount. And there's 4 in 10 women have an abortion approximately, and the numbers keep changing, and that's why it's just hard to with from year to year. But I'm giving you, just know that what I'm giving you is approximate, and it's, you know, within a couple of years. Like I said, it changes. But there's between 2 and 3,000 babies are aborted in this country every day. That's somewhere around one a minute, maybe 1 to 2 a minute, sometimes a minute. So while we're talking right here, there are going to be multiple babies die. There were 41 new abortion locations that opened up or resumed abortions in 2021, and 27 that closed or halted abortions. Now, these numbers, the abortion facilities closing has gone down in the last decade. There's been a lot of, clinics closed, decrease in numbers, but it seems like the last year or two is going up again, which is terrible. And a lot of a lot of them have closed, but there's still new ones opening up. And so we have work to do. And there are so I said there's between 63 and 64 million that have died in this country, but worldwide, there are 34 to 44 million each year. If you could just grasp that for a minute. So about 64 since Roe versus Wade in 1973 million in this country. Worldwide, it's 43 to 44 million every year. And right now in San Francisco, there is a college there where they teach abortionists. And this is, I just want to make this awareness so you just can know how terrible it is. That are learning how to do abortions in vitro, which means living. So they are aborted, the babies, which I don't call it abortion, I call it murder, because they're born alive, and then they kill them for the organs. And I don't know how they get by with this because it's illegal. I don't know how they have all these loopholes and everything, but it's been happening, and it's horrible that these babies are actually born alive, and something about they can get more money for the organs if they take them when they're alive. And so that's and then yes, there's somebody said, well, it doesn't matter because they're going to be aborted anyway. They're going to die anyway. But that is just murder. Well, it's all murder. It's all killing, but just that these breathing, healthy babies are born, and then they kill them for the organs. And there's marches for life going on right now in DC, Washington, DC. Today's Friday. Today, I think it was. They had, and they do this every year, their big march for life. And there's thousands of people that do this march. And it's wonderful to see that. And there's a lot of young people, a lot more young people involved in this in recent years. And more young people are becoming aware and becoming to realize the truth about abortion. And so there was a lot. My husband had just a quick little video on today about it, and there was just thousands of people thronging, DC, which is so great, and but all around the country joining in with that, there are people having these marches for life. So I live in Idaho, and in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, tomorrow there's going to be a march for life and a rally that my husband and I are going to, and I think our pastor and wife are going to. And we're going to meet, and then we'll have, signs and things. There'll be a couple of speakers, and then just walk down the highway for ways, just, taking a stand for life. And I would like to encourage people to, if there's any one of these in your area, to find out about it and just get involved. And a good way to find out about events like this, I think, would be through, because people might say, well, how am I going to know about it? Well, ours was actually in our newspaper. And then you can call your Chamber of Commerce, because they're really good about knowing about events in the area. And I think that might be something. But even since it's, a lot of them are probably going on tomorrow and it's short notice, maybe next time an event like that goes on in your community, you can get involved with that. And I did just want to back up a minute and say, so how I first got involved in pro-life things, it was, maybe more than 10 years ago. I don't even know how long ago, but I'm sure Kara was just little. And I heard a thing on a Christian radio station about a walk for life. It's when we lived in Tucson, Arizona. And they were having this walk. So I don't know, it just hit me. And I thought, I was a stay-at-home mom. I had kids at home and everything. And I thought, but that's something I can do. I can do that. I can go walk. So I raised, usually a lot of these walks, the rallies, not so much, but you raise money, for like a pregnancy center or whatever. And then, you walk. They pay you so much a mile or so much for the walk or whatever. And that's how I started. And I started just every year, pretty much doing the walks. And then we moved to northern Arizona, and there we still, it was funny because, well, it doesn't matter really where you walk, but I still did the walks for a pregnancy center in Arizona. I just raised the money. My husband and I, we walked down the highway. We put signs on and we walked down the highway. And then I got to think, there's a pregnancy center in the town that we lived in, Springerville. And I thought, it's probably better if, and they had walks. If we do the walks more local, you probably get more people to, be willing to support you if you're local. So then I started doing the walks there. And I would just ask everybody. I worked at the school there at the time, and just about all the teachers, the superintendent, everybody gave me money. And actually a couple of times I won things for having raised the most money for these walks. But so I was walking for, it was called Living Hope Women's Centers there in Springerville. And then a position came open for a client advocate. And I had a good job at the time, working as a registrar at the high school. And but that's where my heart is. It's where my passion is. And I had to lose money and to go there and everything, but I just felt like that's what I needed to do. And also after a short time, I actually had to raise my own money to work there, but God provided, and I worked there for 2.5 years, and it was quite an experience. And pregnancy centers, they do great things. They're there to support women, girls in unplanned pregnancies, to teach parenting classes, do ultrasounds. They say that a big percent, somewhere like 80 to 85, maybe even more percent of women that see their baby in an ultrasound, see the little fingers and toes and heartbeat, they change their mind if they are thinking about abortion. So there's another thing, but I'll talk about that a little bit more later too. So then ever since then, it's just been like that. I volunteered at a pregnancy support center here where we live in Idaho for a while. And I try to help our pregnancy support center in Coeur d'Alene. It's a big one. It's called Open Arms. And our church, I'm kind of the liaison for our church and try to plan things that we can do to help them. And our pastor's 100% behind all that. So I'm so thankful for that. And for instance, we had a baby shower where we collected baby items, and then we just take it to them, and they use it in diapers. And we've had diaper drives, and right now for February, around about the last 3 years, I've been having a drive for baby clothing and items and diapers, kind of so we could give it to them around Valentine's Day for a offering of love. And it really helps the women that are pregnant there and that have toddlers, because some of them don't have very much money, and so these material things really help them, and they earn them by taking classes. And anyway, and then they also have used clothing that's available to them anytime. But lost my train of thought. Okay, next I'm going to talk about the 40 Days for Life. And I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but this is a great thing that was started officially in 2007. And I think it was 1999 that a group of like 4 people just had this idea of praying and fasting for 40 days for the end of abortion. And I think it was specifically because in what is it called, Bryan College Station, Texas, there was a big abortion facility there that was put up there, and they were just devastated about it, that was happening in their town. So they began praying. And I think they prayed for this abortion facility for 9 years, and it closed down, and now it is their headquarters for 40 Days for Life. And all they're about is prayer, fasting, and peaceful vigils, or going to an abortion facility like a Planned Parenthood or any of them, and just praying. And they have 2 of these campaigns a year. And the next one is coming up in March the 2nd through April the 10th. And it's my husband and I have done this for years here, since we've several years. There is a abortion facility, pretty big one, Planned Parenthood in Spokane, Washington, which is only about 30 minutes from us. And that we don't have any in northern Idaho, which I'm so glad about. So that's the closest one. And so we just go there, and we have a sign that says pray to end abortion, and we just pray for, you take us a lot of time, and you just pray. And I'll tell you, it's just really moving to go and to do that. And it's just like something that you just feel like, okay, I need to be here. And prayer works, and we all know that, and God hears our prayers. And we are praying that abortion facility will close down in Jesus' name. And there's multiple things. They could be doing something illegally. Maybe they would have a flood and they wouldn't be able to operate. The abortionists might leave or whatever. But somehow, some way, God would close down the doors of that abortion place. And while we're there praying, it's just so disheartening just to know that behind those walls there could be a baby's life just taken out right then, or within the time we're there. And it's just it's something that I just want to encourage everybody, if they can, to at least go to, it's 40daysforlife.com, and just see what they're about. And then there's a place where you could see where is the closest abortion facility in your area, and most of them really they're probably not too far.
I have
But
shared, I just want to say really quick, I have shared information on that on the 40 Days for Life, and I believe I even shared the link to the site and things. Ladies, I'm letting you know. So if you search on the Women of Prayer page in that little search bar on the top, you can search 40 Days for Life, and it should pull up that poster. I can find it and share it again, so you have that information readily available. But just wanted you to know that there is a little bit of information for you.
Okay, good. And it'll give the dates, and then it has a place where you can put in your zip code and find the closest one to your area. and then it has a calendar, and that you can put a slot of time. And usually it's like just an hour, an hour or two, or however long you want to be there. But it'll have a little calendar, and you just click on the date and the time that you want. And they like to just know how many slots are filled or whatever. I mean, you don't have to do that. You can just go pray, and you don't have to sign up, but it just helps anyway. And then to kind of space it out, I guess. And I mean, it doesn't matter, because we've been there when nobody else was there, I don't think, and then we've been there when there were several people there praying. And so it's just a good thing to know that there's people in your other people in your community that are praying for that. And we just walk up and down the street in front of the Planned Parenthood, and as long as we're not on their property, it's okay. And there's people that'll give us thumbs up, honks, and then there's the other that'll flip us off and all of that. But and the way that one's set up, it's kind of hard to where their parking lot is to be able to talk to somebody. But I know they have a lot of ones where they have sidewalk counselors and things, and people that can talk to the people actually and give them brochures about the pregnancy support centers instead. And there's many babies that have been saved, and people that have gone in, and I've heard testimonies that they couldn't go through with it. And just being able to talk to people and everything. I mean, you don't because some people would be intimidated by that, but you don't have to talk to people. And at certain ones you probably wouldn't be able to, but just that you're there praying, making your presence there, that you're just praying for them. And I'm just going to give you a few statistics here about last year. So since about 2007, I believe these numbers that have benefited through this 40 Days for Life, there has been 20,368 babies saved. And these are only the ones they know about. 229 abortion workers converted, 114 abortion facilities completely shut down, 1 million plus pro-life Americans praying, fasting, and standing vigil to end abortion, 20,000 churches standing up for life. And so you can see that there is having a big impact. We know prayer works, and this is, and you don't have to fast the 40 days, but you sometime during that period. So if you can't go to a vigil, you can always, just pray, do some fasting, praying for this end of abortion. And we as a church have failed in this area. We haven't taken a stand. Our pastor was saying the other day that he felt like just all this was going on right now in our country and everywhere, that a lot of it, he believes, stems from the fact that we have killed millions of babies, and that we haven't, as a church, as an apostolic church, we have not taken the stand for life, for to end abortion that we could have, and that in some areas we've just failed. So that's what I'm just wanting to bring some awareness about, and try to encourage us to do something. So you might say, what can I do? Well, the first thing I have here on my list is pray, fast. You can join one of these campaigns, 40 Day for Life campaign. And right now there's a Supreme Court ruling that is going to be very important, and it could possibly be overturning Roe versus Wade, which would be an end of abortion in this country. So pray about that. I don't know when this decision is going to be made, or but it's coming up. with the Supreme Court. So keep that in your prayers. You can join a Walk for Life or a rally or a March for Life in your area, which I said you can find out probably through your Chamber of Commerce. Volunteer at a pregnancy support center. I know they always need volunteers. And it's really a blessing to be able to help at one of those places. It was for me, and just that you know that you are really helping someone. You could donate. So within the United Pentecostal Church, well, they're affiliated with it. It's New Beginnings, and they're more. They do more with adoptions, and they do have a maternity home where girls from anywhere in the United States can come and be while they're until they're full term, and then they work with a lot with adoptions internationally and domestically, and so you can just donate to that, and they try to match up the baby with just the right parents, and they work, and then it's just sad, some of the stories that I hear about the brave girls that choose life but give them up for adoption, place them for adoption. It must be just a hard thing to do, but they do what they feel is right for the babies because they love their babies. And they have a say so in who they pick, I believe, and they also can choose whether it's an open or closed adoption and all of that. But anyway, that's something. There's other places. I'm going to just give you a couple here. Students for Life, they go around to college campuses, try to awareness to college students, and a big percentage of Planned Parenthoods are close to a college, and they're just they have made a big impact on helping college students, young people choose life and change their viewpoint from pro-choice to pro-life. And there's one, Operation Rescue, and they have been very helpful in closing down abortion facilities and created equal. They go around with big jumbotrons and actually show what an abortion is. I mean, graphic and everything. And there's so many people that just by seeing that have changed their mind. It's pretty hard to see something like that and still think abortion is okay. And then there's text messages. Well, like our pregnancy center in Coeur d'Alene, and I think many of them do now, they have a thing you can sign up for, and they send you a text message if a client left not knowing what to do or feeling like they wanted to have an abortion, if they left the facility abortion minded, and they just send you a text message, and then you pray for that. And then we also get messages of, rejoice with us, this mom chose life, so that's a good thing too. Sarah, my friend that I worked with at the Living Hope in Arizona, she was the director there, and we were very good friends and still are. She's been very involved in pro-life things, and when we were working there together, if we'd get a call about somebody that was abortion minded, maybe from one of the other centers or whatever, we would have this thing where we would say, stop, drop, and pray. And we would just stop what we're doing and we would pray. And I try to do that when I get the text messages. Of course, it's not always possible right at the moment, but I do try to pray for them when they come in. And, if you have a whole network of people praying when they have somebody that's thinking about abortion, that, you just pray that God would help them to think clearly and change their mind. And many times they do. So that's another good thing to be a part of. And that doesn't cost you anything. And it's just a little bit of prayer
A lot of,
that could
a lot
save
of
life.
ways, There's a lot of
What?
ways to there's a lot of ways to help and a lot of ways to get involved.
Yes. And then there's some resources now that I'd like to give you. So I really would like to encourage you to go to, I didn't, well, I mean, you could, they're on YouTube. Just look up, and it's called The Sound of Abortion. This is very powerful. It's very short, but it's very powerful. Have you ever seen that one, Karen?
Yeah,
Yeah. And have you ever played it for the ladies?
I don't think so.
But look up Sound of Abortion and it'll come up on YouTube. And it's very powerful. It's a good thing to share with people, but it really puts things into perspective. And then there's another one. It's Dr. Levatino, and he was an abortionist, and he is now pro-life, and he has quite a testimony. And he actually, I was watching it today because I hadn't seen one of them for a while, and he's got, I guess, different ones. But I watched, it was an 11-minute thing about a midterm, a late term, and what would you call the first trimester abortions, and it was just horrible. It was just horrible, and I don't know how anybody could watch that and think it's okay. But he tells what they do and how they do it, and there's I'm just gonna say it, there's abortions, the dismemberment abortions. They go in there with forceps and they'll grab a leg and they grab an arm and they grab the body parts, and the head's too big, so they have to crush it with this instrument. They crush the baby's head. And he said, and you know how, when they've crushed the head, because white fluid comes out of the cervix, and that's their brains. And I'm just saying, I know this is terrible, but I just want people to be aware of how horrible this is. And then he says, then they have to take the body parts and put them back together in a little dish, because they have to be sure they have all the arms and legs and all the parts. Otherwise, it's left inside the mom. And if there is anything left inside, they go with what do they call it? A curate, I don't know, something, and they scrape the lining of the uterus. And sometimes that causes problems. Sometimes they perforate it. I mean, it's just bad. So that, and it's hard to watch these things, but I think they're good too, because it just makes you realize, how awful it is. And that was just, one. Then there's just different types of abortions at different stages. But then there's another one called the silent. Okay, the silent scream. Silent scream. It's been a long time since I saw that one, but I know that was a really good one. And then Unplanned. It's a book by Abby Johnson. And if anybody knows who she is, I don't know, but she was the director of a Planned Parenthood at that Bryan Station College in Texas that I was talking about, that abortion facility there. She was the director there. And she was actually witnessed an abortion because I don't know, they were short staffed or something, and the abortionist asked her to be in with him on this abortion. And she saw this life just being sucked out, watching it on the screen. And I believe that, if I remember correctly, she dropped the Doppler and she, left, and she never, she quit after that. And now she's very involved in the pro-life movement, and she has quite a story. And the book's called Unplanned, and they actually have a movie out now called Unplanned. And that gives a really, because she was there in Planned Parenthood, she gives you the firsthand truth about what they do, and it's unbelievable. They're just about money, making money on killing babies. And then I would just like to just ask everybody to pray for certain things here. So Uh, so, and for God to teach us to pray intercessory prayers for the unborn. So, for several things here, for the end of abortion, for the abortion facilities to close down, that the abortionists and the workers at abortion facilities to see the light and to start promoting life instead of destroying it. And sometimes what I pray for these abortionists and the workers, I just, I pray that when they walk into that place, that office, that center, that they would just smell the smell of death, and that they would just literally, it would make them physically sick, and that God could just, you know, open their eyes to see what they're doing. And for God to talk to the hearts and the minds of the abortion minded girls and women, that they would, and I pray this often, that they would just bond with their babies, you know, that they would feel them, bond with them, they would love their babies. I mean, I would think it would be so hard to feel a baby moving inside of you and then just being able to kill it. But a lot of them are aborted before that. And some have been told they're just a blob and then, you know, this and that. But we know that those are all lies. And for us to be, as the church, to be loving and compassionate to people in unplanned pregnancies, and just, you know, show love and just pray for those. And I always like to say, whenever I, you know, talk to people about these things, that if someone or someone you know has walked through abortion, we know that God is merciful and forgiving, and they can find forgiveness, love, and restoration. And, you know, they just have to ask for forgiveness, and God, He will forgive. And it's, you know, and then just be restored. And then I think I covered most everything that I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, for listening. And I want to just say, leave you with this, that this is a quote by Dietrich Bonhoeffer. And it says, silence in the face of evil, is itself evil. God will not hold us guiltless. Not to speak is to speak. Not to act is to act. And I think that's it, unless Kara has anything she wants to say more.
I'll just close it out. Thank you, Mom, so much for your time, for
You're welcome. I'm glad to do it.
I can't talk right now, but
It's okay.
you know, for your passion, for your research, and for sharing and stepping out of your comfort zone, because these are lives that matter. And
Yes.
I'm so glad that my mom chose life, and you know, is making a difference through that. We all can make a difference. We all can do something. There's some way that we can help. So thank you for
Yes.
all that you do, Mom. And thank you for taking the time, putting this together, stepping out of your comfort zone, doing all this to share this. And I know that it's not, you know, it's just for the purpose of helping and to make others aware so that together we can make a difference. And as she's talked about prayer, she's talked about interceding, she's given us prayer points to pray and ways that we can help, resources. She's filled us, given us plenty of information. So now it's the ball is in our court. What are we going to do with it? I pray that this has God has moved on your heart through hearing this. And thank you for taking the time to watch this video, to listen as my mom shared her heart and her passion. And let's all make a difference and get involved and fight for these babies in prayer and in other ways. So again, thank you, Mom, and
You're welcome.
we will
Thank you
join
for
you
letting me
in
do
this.
it.
We will join you in this fight.
Yes.
All right, ladies. Thank you.